reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
What's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, hit that thumbs up. Let the people know that you listen to the show with your host, Comp, and...
Tiha.
Today's film is...
It is DEADSTREAM
Did you forget it was
2022. No, but I don't usually do it because it's always
that's
Danny
right.
doing it.
DEADSTREAM 2022. This is also not rated. Weird. A disgraced internet personality attempts to win back his followers by live streaming one night alone in a haunted house. But when he accidentally pisses off a vengeful spirit, his big comeback event becomes a real-time fight for his life. Directed by Joseph Winter and Vanessa Winter. Written by Vanessa Winter and Joseph Winter. I don't know why they flipped that. Starring Joseph Winter, Melanie Stone, and Jason K. Wixom. So, Thea, why did you pick DEADSTREAM?
I saw it came out on Shudder. I don't know if I saw a whole trailer for it ahead of time. I just saw that it was newfound footage from some creators that I'd never heard of. It looked funny and interesting, and I thought we should check it out.
A lot of people comparing it to Evil Dead, and we'll get into that. I don't know if that's very appropriate, but...
There are Evil Dead references, I think.
I will say this. I saw it's on Shudder. I think it's only on Shudder right now. Unless you find it in alternate ways. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Thea. But I remember just looking at the poster of it, and Shudder movies, I guess, can be hit or miss. I think the ones that I've seen are pretty good. Especially like the death metal like animated movie that I saw. There's like a cartoon sword and sorcery movie that's great on that one. I forget the name of that. But
and there's Host. That
and Host is great too. Host was the one.
Yeah.
Host was the one I think that made people wake up to Shudder as a streaming service. That was the one that we're like, whoa, you know. But with this, like the poster for this is not a very good poster for this movie because it's basically like a demon's claw holding like a GoPro. And I was like I was that automatically when I saw that, I would just like click it and go to the right and be like, oh, this is not good. So that's very bad poster. It's a beautiful looking design, but it's not a good poster. So it's a very stupid way.
But also,
reason.
like, kind of has nothing to do with the
absolutely
actual
right
movie. But in the style of like movie posters from like the 80s that had nothing to do with what is in the movie. It's
right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's cool and pulpy looking.
Right. So the thing is with this film, we've seen a handful of these types of film where it's found footage. Horror movies, but specifically in the age of social media. So a movie that I think is probably one of the best ever made is actually surprisingly is Spree, the one with the guy from Stranger Things. I forget the actor's name, Joe something. The guy with the nice hair from Stranger Things. Spree is very, very good. It's about a guy who wants to bring up his viewership on his live stream, so he starts killing people with his car. Great fucking movie. Go watch that. Then also we saw Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, which is specifically about a couple of like Korean YouTubers going to a haunted house, and it was a haunted house movie. And then I don't think anything else we saw specifically social media related, but this one is very specifically social media related, and I think it gets the whole Evil Dead vibe because of what, Thea? Was that a loaded question?
Is it the demon possession?
The actual demons themselves in this movie. Yeah,
it's sort of Kandarian demon-esque in a way, like the feel of how they move and the goofiness of like trying to stick their finger up his nose and that kind of thing. Feels pretty campy, Evil Dead style.
And I don't know why, and it's such a simple thing towards the end, because we're going to spoil the movie anyway. So, but I'm saying watch the movie, and I'm sure Thea's saying watch the movie too.
Watch it.
Absolutely watch it. So we're going to spoil from now on. I was, I don't know why I was, but I was blown away by the simple sort of idea of Sean Ruddy's, the character Joseph Winter plays is called Sean Ruddy. He's this obnoxious YouTuber character. That his breakdown that the demon of the house, this woman, what was her name? Was her name Hetty or something like that? I forget what her name is.
The demon's name is Mildred Pratt.
Mildred. Mildred needed views on her. Like, she needed eyes and followers, much like a social media user needs eyes and followers to keep them powerful. I don't know why I was so blown away by that. Such a small idea. But I thought that was so fucking brilliant. I thought that was like, God, that
Yeah.
is such a good idea. That is so funny that he decides to try to steal all her viewers like they do in the internet. I was like, that. I thought that
Yeah.
was so good that alone was worth watching this movie. Besides everything else that's good with it, and
Yeah.
boy does Joseph Winter. Honestly, I think he has a monumental task with his character in this movie because, Thea, what kind of characters is Sean Ruddy in this movie?
I mean, he is, like, I think we find out sort of halfway through the film. Like, we know that he's apologizing for something. He basically got demonetized, as they do on YouTube sometimes when they've done something very bad. And I think we find out later that he
Got into a fight with a bum, right?
He got into a fight with a bum who he had paid.
I'm sorry,
and the
an
bum
unhoused
ultimately
person.
died. Yes.
An unhoused person. Yeah. I'm saying that funny.
And that
You might be
person
saying that
ultimately died.
right.
And then so he did this big apology thing, and then this is his way to sort of get back into the limelight, doing what he used to do, which was like put himself in situations where he was afraid and where he wasn't allowed to like sort of get out of it. But it's hard. Yeah, he has to play an asshole for basically the whole movie, somebody who doesn't care about other people at all.
And the monumental...
It's a tricky line to walk.
The monumental task is that Joseph Winter made the character likable. I don't know how he did it, honestly.
Because he's fun.
I think he's likable, right. I think what
Yeah.
it is that the character's fucking him. It's like, Logan Paul's or whatever other fucking YouTube personality where they're just like, hey, I'll do whatever I want. Who gives a fuck? I'm funny. And that's the type of character he's playing. And just in general, I'm not interested in those type of internet personalities. But he is playing that type of character. But he's playing in such a way where, okay, like if you let that go within the first, couple minutes when you're watching him, and he's sort of a doofus kind of character, then that makes him entertaining. It's sort of like, and this is a very bizarre like correlation, but Ash from the Evil Dead sequels, like he's like a brash sort of a dickhead. But you watch him because he's funny, you know what I mean? Because he's obnoxious, he's dumb, and that's how.
In Army of Darkness, he's basically like a stupid, misogynistic a-hole.
He's a himbo now. He's a himbo, right?
Yeah.
And Sean Ruddy is the same way in this film. And I tell you, there's a line in this movie that made me laugh so hard. I couldn't fucking believe how hard I was laughing when he makes his big apology at the end, and he says this stream is dedicated to the blacks and the Mexicans. I couldn't stop. And it's supposed to be like a rude line, but it's just that his character's so stupid that he's saying this. And it's funny because, he brings up some very, like, real, like, issues of, like, say, like a white, like, a Caucasian guy in this sort of landscape of the internet and stuff like that and kind of shit. But I thought it was so fucking funny that, like, just that line alone was just so funny because it shows you how kind of dumb his character still is. And
but it's
and the
also
shit that
like
he has to
good
apologize
parody because it's
of
so
course
recognizable.
because that's what a lot of these internet personalities do, is that they'll be like, oh, I'll just apologize to this section of people, and then I'll smooth it out, and I'll come back in a couple months. Is what
And
his
then it's all
character
good.
does. It's great. Very realistic in how he plants the camera in every room. Like, and I love the detail in this film. Like, this is a haunted house movie where the house is utilized, every room is utilized, and you go back to every room. His live streaming makes sense. Like, there's nothing in here that I felt like a logical fallacy, as in how it's set up. It feels like very streamlined. Like, you could tell these fucking writers, Joseph and Victoria, I'm sorry, Vanessa, they took their time making this film because it didn't feel like there was a fuck up in this movie at all. Even the Mildred, when she comes in as Chrissy, I think it's Melanie Stone who plays her, she's really good. When she pops out of nowhere and she's like this annoying, over the top, goofy character who I guess never really existed in the first place, sort of like that the corner man and whoever else is coming out. But there's some genuinely creepy moments in this movie. Was there anything that really like bugged you out with this movie? I know it's supposed to be like a comedy sort of first and foremost, but I think that there's some actual genuinely like spooky moments in this movie.
No, I honestly just really enjoyed it. It was very fun. Like you said, they really thought about each sort of detail. I wasn't finding a lot of problems with it.
Right.
It was just sort of enjoyable.
I like the interaction with chat when they would come up, and the part that bugged me was when they caught the ghost walking through the hallway. And
Yeah.
they're basically he's talking about some stupid shit, not paying attention to
Yeah.
the screen, and they're like, "Yo, look at your stream, yo," and you just see all these words
Yeah.
going, "Look, look, look, look," and then he finally sees
Yeah.
it and he shits himself and runs out of not literally, but he runs out of the room to go into the closet. I love that the closet is this famous thing, and once he ripped up that totem, the
Yeah.
thing, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, the
I was like,
Hansa.
he fucked up. I was like, you just know he
I know.
fucked up.
As soon as he took it out, I was like, that. I think maybe that was the only unbelievable thing. I was like, you just said this was the only safe room in the house, and then you found something in it, and you immediately ripped it up.
So I was like, this guy fucked up big time.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing about this film. And it's it's a weird movie that I think, in talking about it, which is a good sort of pairing with this film, and they're totally different. They're in the same genre but different premises. I think this Barbarian is a good one to watch with this film. Just with Sean Ruddy's character and what he goes through, and what the other.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Barbarian in a for next week, but like you will be like, oh yeah, okay, I can see how these characters deal with it, and which is a difference between a good character doing something and an actual full of shit character dealing with something.
Yeah.
So I think that for everything that this movie does, the gore effects are cool. The demons look cool. They're funny. I can't tell you how hard, besides the black and Mexicans joke that he makes, the shit that had me laugh so hard in this movie, because it makes no sense at all, is when Mildred falls down the stairs. I couldn't understand why a ghost would fall downstairs and get hurt. And I laughed so hard at how stupid that idea was that I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Because like it just doesn't make any sense at all.
But it's also like, why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
And I did feel bad for Sean at the end, because now Sean is like haunted, and I guess he's stuck in that house.
Yeah.
Hopefully they make this is a movie I would watch a sequel, but sequels will always fuck up a movie. Like if they got him out of the house, like I would like that kind of bookend movie, but that's not gonna happen. If it does, I would love to see Sean get out. But I there's not really any like negatives I can say about this movie. Like some of the acting of the people that are like talking to him, the ones that are trying to give him hints on how to get the fuck
like
out.
at home.
It's a little too like, oh wow, hey, this is, and I was like, like this is kind of bad. But they're perfect for what they are. Like,
Yeah.
his whole thing where all the flashbacks to all his old social media shit that he does looks great. It looks realistic. The way that the little advertisements he has to do. I don't follow internet personalities, but I do follow internet channels, and they always have to do advertisements. And this rang true. Like all this shit rings true, and it's very appropriate for this type of movie, and it's not annoying. And it's really rare to see an annoying main character that like they win you over through the process of the film, because that's a very big thing to have to deal with writing in this type of film. So was there anything there wasn't anything super negative you had with this movie?
No, I just had a good time. It's fun because like his flaws end up working for him.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
Yeah, I think he's a really great horror character. Like he's just a really, really good character. He's a character. If he was in any other horror movie, they would kill him within 5 minutes, because they always kill off the interesting characters. Sort of like I'm trying to think of this big giant. They made 3 of those movies. Remember that movie that it was like a first person camera work with a giant monster attacking the city? What is that movie called?
Cloverfield.
They made like 3 Cloverfield movies. In that first movie, unfortunately, it was T.J. Miller, now who's like a nut job, and then also I think the woman in the goofy woman in the movie. Those were the 2 most entertaining characters in the movie, and they killed them off within the first like 20 minutes of the movie, and you get stuck with like sort of vapid characters. This is a character. Yeah. He would be the most entertaining. He's like the Hudson in Aliens, like the funny character. That is actually leading the whole film, and so I'm grateful when that type of entertaining character survives. It's essentially like Ash from Evil Dead. They're just the character that is the great side character that actually shines. So I 100% like totally recommend this film. Is there anything else you got to say about this movie?
Just that it was written and directed by Vanessa and Joseph, who are a married co-writing team.
Yeah,
and they also did a segment in VHS. Which you will see.
Oh, 99?
Yep. And
is it also found footage?
Yeah,
or
based on
VHS
based on
is
this
all
and that,
found footage.
I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, they did a great job. It's nice when a married couple like writes like really well. Like the only time you really hear married couples like the people that wrote the Frozen music. That's it. That's the only like married couple that I know of. There are plenty of married couple that like believe me, if you find a partner in your life that does what you do and they do it really good with you, there is nothing better than that, believe me. So with that, what rating would you give Deadstream 2022?
I am going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Not questioning a random woman being in the house, even though you made a big show of locking yourself in.
I am going to give an 8 out of 10, knowing that you don't want this woman around with you, but if she gives you the ratings that you need, you'll take anybody. And with that, Thea, what's the final word?
Glass.